Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you how I make my blueberry and vanilla bean coffee cake. It's so delicious, easy to make. Your house, your kitchen will smell like the best bakery, better than any candle. The ingredients for them are some pretty simple and basic ingredients. Let me take you over them so we can get started. You'll need some all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, some unsalted butter that's been softened at room temperature, milk, granulated sugar, some sour cream, eggs, a little bit of vanilla extract, vanilla bean. Then you'll also need some cold butter, fresh blueberries, and some brown sugar, regular granulated sugar, some flour, and a pinch of cinnamon. That's going to be for like the streusel topping that I'm making, just for a little extra sweetness and a little extra something special. But you can always omit that step, just add a little bit more sugar in the batter. Now the first thing you want to do is get your oven preheated to 375. The second thing you want to do, I'm using a 9-inch springform pan only because I want to be able to remove the sides. This is going to be a streusel top, so I don't want to invert it and make a mess. So this is just easy to remove the side. It's ready to go. All right, let's get started. I'm going to make this by hand in just my bowls with a wooden spoon, spatula. First thing I'm doing is I'm whisking my dry ingredients, which was my flour, baking powder, and salt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this dry ingredient mixture and then toss my blueberries in it. That way, once the blueberries are all coated in the flour, they won't all sink to the bottom of the cake. You know what I mean? You'll be able to kind of spread them out evenly throughout the batter once they're coated in your flour mixture. So, don't have to be too finicky about that. Just want to make sure that they're coated nicely. Once you have that done, move over to the second step. Now I've got my butter here that's really soft at room temperature, and that's what you want for this. And I'm going to mix it with my sugar to combine it well. That's looking perfect. Now I'm just going to set this aside because before I added my eggs, I want to work on my vanilla bean, which is like, I can't live without vanilla beans. Life before vanilla beans just wasn't that exciting. Definitely didn't taste as good. I love them. They are caviar for desserts, and it's just, I can't even describe how great it is. But I'm just going to take my vanilla bean, split it right down the middle like so. Once you open up, you see all those beautiful little black little specks there. That, my friend, is goodness. And I've mentioned this several times. When you are taking out the bean, the vanilla seeds, I should say, which is easy to do with the back of your knife, just like that. You take this vanilla pod, and you do not by any means throw this away. I love keeping, I'm going to put this back in here so it doesn't dry out, but I love keeping like canisters of sugar and then putting my vanilla beans in there, and that way you have the most amazing vanilla sugar in the world. It's great for giving it away as a gift or something like that. Works every time. I'm also going to splash just a little bit of vanilla extract in here just to amp up the vanilla flavor a bit. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I do. Now what I'm going to do is actually going to switch to my whisk. I'm going to take my eggs and put this right in here and mix this all together until your eggs and your butter and your vanilla is all mixed. That looks beautiful. And let's just admire those little specks of vanilla seeds like going through. I'm very excited for this to hit the oven because it's going to smell so good in here. I'm going to take some sour cream. Now I love adding sour cream to a coffee cake, or to a lot of things really, because it does keep your cake really moist. It doesn't give you flavor, and you can substitute yogurt, or my nonna, for example, sometimes if she doesn't have yogurt, she'll use ricotta. So there you go. You can add some of that if you want to, but if you don't want to use ricotta or yogurt, oops, I just made a mess of myself, or sour cream, just use a little extra milk. That's all. It'll still be delicious. Just gonna mix that in along with my milk. And if this splits a little bit, don't panic. You'll live. Life is good. All right. I'm gonna pour my wet into my dry. Now I know I'm no professional baker or anything like that. Just trust me when I tell you that this will be one of the most delicious things you'll make. Because how can it not be? Just mix this through until you have a really nice creamy batter. That looks perfection. Now I'm just gonna fold in my blueberries. I'm gonna fold them in rather than just whisking them in because I don't wanna break them up. Now I know a lot of people are gonna ask why this is called a coffee cake if there's no coffee in it. Coffee cake just means it's a cake that would go great with a good cup of coffee or a cup of tea or anything like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has coffee in it. However, you know, there are plenty of coffee cakes that actually taste like coffee. This is just not one of them. And if you would like to see one, well, let me know and I will make one for you. But this is just my blueberry and vanilla bean coffee cake that I'm very, very proud of and I love dearly. Look at all the blueberries I put in there. I usually like to put a couple cups in there, but I think this time I might have gone a little overboard, but that's okay. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna put my batter into my pan. It's been sprayed with some nonstick spray. Even it out as best as you can. All right, now that's done. Let's work on the topping. Now I've got my mixture here, both the kinds of sugar, my flour and my cinnamon. Just gonna briefly mix these together. Now the cinnamon, which I'm just using a little bit of, really does give you such fantastic little spice that goes so good with the vanilla bean. I mean, obviously, cinnamon, vanilla, match made in food heaven. Now I'm not even gonna bother breaking up the brown sugar too much. I like those pieces. I've got some cold butter in here. It's a piece stuck, there you go. I'm gonna cut this in with my pastry cutter. You could use just a regular fork. Just gonna take this mixture and just sprinkle it all over the top. Some of it will sink in, some of it will stay up top. It doesn't matter. It's all gonna end up being absolutely delicious. All right, try to make it as even as you can with the topping. Now this is going to go into your preheated oven at 375 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Just check it with a toothpick. If it comes out clean without any wet batter, then you know it's done. Let it cool completely and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. And trust me when I tell you, nothing's going to smell as good as this does baking in your oven. Just trust. My cake baked for about an hour and I've let it cool completely. Now I just run a knife right around the edge to make sure it doesn't stick, and it hasn't. Yum, yum, yum. The top has got like a really lovely crunch to it. Let's put this on a little pedestal. It deserves to be on a pedestal if you ask me. Now all I need is a really good cup of coffee and I'd be in business. It looks so delicious. It smells even better. Oh, yes. Uh-oh, please don't break. Oh, look at that. Look. Oh, there are no words to describe the excitement going on in my head right now. Oh my. If you and I can make a bet right now as to how fast I could eat this slice of cake, how fast do you think I could eat it? I'm not going to do it in front of you because it'd be really embarrassing, but I'm telling you what, this is not going to see the next 20 seconds or so, which is why we need to be alone. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the recipe for this absolutely delightfulness of a, I don't even know what to call it. It smells divine. I hope you enjoy spending time with me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.